What's up, y'all? You're about to watch me eat a salad. This is an unofficial mukbang at almost 7 a.m. and I have not been asleep yet. I did do my nails, like neon colors with some like soft colors. Thought that'd be cool. But I came to talk about a few things that have been on my mind the past few days. Have been great and really emotional and horrible. Great because I ended up hanging out with my family and that was really fun. We're all crazy. And horrible because my emotions have been, I'm on my period right now, so they've been erratic. I made like a few different videos for this channel that I have not posted because it's like they just didn't make any sense. So I always like to watch alternative information videos because I feel like general information is what, you know, people, powers that be or whatever, it's what they want you to know, but it never feels right. So sometimes I like to watch alternative information videos. Especially when it comes to like the nature of belief. Is one thing I've been exploring. One thing I've come to understand for myself is that as long as you sound smart enough and like you know what you're talking about enough, people will believe anything. People will believe anything you say. I think that's what gives the rise to the idiots that we have in power today. And just recently asked myself this question. Do I think I'm better than everybody else? Sometimes, yes. Probably most of the time, yes. But not because I'm smarter or physically better. I think it's because I'm more open than the average Joe. I'm more open to things that people would often deny because it goes against their belief system. Don't get me wrong, I'm still human. I have my own biases. But I think most people are just... The first thing that comes to my mind is idiots. I do. I kind of think most people are idiots. Not because they don't have the capacity to be smart, but because it's just easier to be dumb or manipulated because life is hard and everyone's running on fumes and you don't have the capacity to question your beliefs or believe anything else because it's too much. Like, it's just literally too much. Much too much. I was watching this video about how it's like it's a few things that allude to this question, but it's basically, is God actually the devil? And the devil is actually God. If you think about it, if you really think about it, it makes sense. God is jealous. God will smite you if you go against it. God is okay with sacrificing its own beings for its pleasure, killing its own creations because it goes against, later stated laws. Murdering entire families and cities and towns in the name of itself. It doesn't want you to worship anything else. I'm talking about the biblical God, obviously. And it's totally okay with atrocious acts, clearly. In a way, it encourages it. Though the land of milk and honey was built by a totally different people, it was valid that they all should perish. And their land should be taken because God said so. And they didn't go along with the plan of what God said you should do and be. Even though God made them and knew that they wouldn't, because it knows everything, but it's mad that it acted in the way that it was created to, with free will. And it also convinced you that to have knowledge is a sin. The tree of life, to eat from the tree of knowledge, is enough to get you kicked out of Eden. To have one nation with one language and to become knowledgeable and have great, knowledge to build and create your own way and will is enough to smite you, to tear down the Tower of Babel and create 1,000 different languages so none of the citizens know what they're talking about. To, by default, instantly create confusion and war through misunderstandings of each other. That sounds like the work of the devil to me. That's going to piss off some people. And it should. And it pisses you off because you never really thought about it. A lot of people haven't. And if you have thought about it, and you really thought about it, you would get upset because a part of you is like, damn, that kind of makes sense, and I don't want to change my beliefs because that's too hard. Which I totally get. Going on this journey has been the most devastating shit I've ever been through, because it means that I can no longer lie to myself and kid myself and pretend that all this shit makes sense that I do or have done and follow that logic. I can't continue to do that. I can't continue to believe in or praise the things that would openly allow all of this, Anyway. I've just been thinking a lot of shit. And I was watching that short. The comments were so polarizing. Really funny. For obvious reasons, people defending it, people saying don't believe in false gods. These are malicious lies. Yet how many people over the past 2,000 years have died in the name of Jesus and Allah, or in the name of God in general? God told me to do it. God told me to kill you because you're evil. Because you don't agree with what I say. So I'm God. And that's my, angst about the whole thing. Anyway. I'm eating this salad because the amount of crap that I've ate in the past 3 days, oh my God. I'm not even ashamed either. This is the best this is a random ranch. This is Hill Country Ranch from H-E-B. This is the best fucking ranch I think I've ever had. They have a fresh made ranch in store, like where they make, they make it somewhere and they ship it in. But it's fresh. And it tastes like that. But this is like, I guess the lower grade version. Because it's, have preservatives in it. But it tastes just like that fresh ranch. It kind of reminds me of Wingstop Ranch a little bit. Even though it's not buttermilk, it tastes like buttermilk. It's crazy. My cat Oliver, he's looking at me. Usually I'm asleep by now, so this is a treat for him. But anyway. I don't even know what the hell I was going with that. I think, like I was watching a video just a few minutes ago that he was talking about, I'm talking about a lot of shit. Certain things I got, certain things I didn't. But when the video was over, I'm like, none of that really made any sense. Like, it had some things that made sense, and it occurred to me, like, if you sound smart enough, people will believe any fucking thing. Like, truly, if you're, I noticed especially with the mystic people, if they sound like they know what they're talking about enough. And even in the next video I watched of the same person where they were talking about, they were answering questions in this forum about different, like, I think it was Greek or Roman gods or whatever. And he was like, I was actually illiterate on the subject. I didn't really know what I was talking about, but I just made connections to tell people. And even though these people were more studied than me, they found that what I was saying was highly interesting and intuitive, or not intuitive, right, or you know what I mean. They felt like what he was saying was valid, even though he hadn't read on anything he was talking about. And it just occurred to me in the moment, like, wait a minute. And like in the next few moments, he was saying like how do I get this information or whatever, which there's some validity to that, because if you're a smart person and you have, like in my brain, I have a way to connect certain things. Even though I don't really know too much about each subject, I know enough to be able to make connections and give out what I think. And to some people that's valid, and it might be valid. But it just occurred to me, like, if you sound smart enough, people will believe everything because they don't trust themselves. You know what I'm saying? And there could be a level of truth to whatever you're saying, but you could still not know what the fuck you're talking about. But because we live in a world where we're actively taught to ignore our intuition, and even in the post where they were talking about God is the devil and all that, and people are quoting scriptures and things like that, I'm like, people really don't have their own thoughts. Like, they don't have any thoughts of their own. I didn't realize how dirty. Is that dirt? That is dirt. I think it's dirt. Oh, shit. Sorry. And then there's light in there. Or maybe it's just a light. I don't know. I have a very close up because I'm naked. Tyler. You know who you are. Anyway, what the hell was I saying? Fuck. But yeah, you sound smart enough. Anybody will believe you. And I was saying, because people don't have their own thoughts. Like, we're so programmed to our thoughts. We have been actively taught not to think, but only to listen, to read, and to remember. And so people have no individual thoughts of their own. All of their thoughts are surrounded by things they have been told and nothing else. And that is quite disturbing. This is way too close. That is quite disturbing. Maybe I should do like this so the light won't. That's disturbing. When I really sat and thought about it, this is really fucking disturbing. People don't have individuality. They don't know what they think. They don't know what they believe because they've been told what to believe. And these are the moments where I think I'm smarter than everybody. Not everybody in the world. Those other people who have thoughts. Those are the people that I want to talk to. But when I think about like the things that I was talking about with my therapist about just oftentimes preferring AI over regular conversations, not because I don't want to talk to people, but because a lot of people, especially the ones that I know, and this is no shade to anybody, but it's not much individual thought or even have enough time to really think beyond what they know or even question what they know. And I'm not interested in recycled thoughts. I want something new. I want, originality. And that seems to be in short supply these days. And it's so frustrating when you want to connect deeper and you have to risk, mundane conversations. I'm not really interested in that. I was also thinking about, like, I was talking about neighbors. My mom was some new people that moved in that's renting the house next door. And I was like, you don't talk to them? I'm like, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to even introduce the idea of saying hello. I don't. Because people are weird. People get weird when you don't do the things that they expect you to do. And that was the first thing I learned when I moved here with neighbors further down, especially the son of that dude was off. It's fucking weird. I think he was like mentally ill or something, but I didn't speak to him one day and he went off on me. I'm like, okay, this is me going back into my house. But he's not the only one, like, especially with black people, like, black people get really offended when you don't speak to them, like, really offended, like, oh, so she's a ditty or something. No, I just don't give a fuck about you in that way. I don't. And a lot of people are going to feel me when I say that. I just don't follow social norms in that way. I can when I have to, but I just don't like to. But anyway, back to thinking about my own self. I feel like I've been going through this, I don't even like the word ego death. I feel like I don't want to villainize my ego. We villainize every part of ourselves that don't conform with what makes us feel good or what socially we should agree with. We demonize parts of ourselves that we don't like or that we feel are unsavory. And I'm just over that, I'm not demonizing my ego or my shortcomings or whatever. My ego has its place and I love my ego. And my spirit has its place and I love my spirit. And sometimes they meet, easily, and sometimes they be just moving right past each other. Probably most of the time. But I'm just in this place where I want to know not just what I think, but what is the truth for me, and not have to apologize for that, not have to make excuses for that. I don't want to continue to be a follower, which I don't consider myself a follower, but in a lot of ways I have been. And I'll, think about all the different beliefs I've had over the years, belief systems and all of that. And I don't want to follow any of those things anymore. Don't get me wrong. A lot of them have a great truth to them. A lot of them have some validity, but overall, it's just recycled information. And where's this information coming from? Like, who made this shit up? Because when you listen to it for a while, it has a grain of truth, but then it's just more lore. It's just more. It kind of reminds me of like how people define crystals. Like amethyst is good for this, rose quartz is good for that. It's like, what are you talking about? Do you know what you're talking about? You just read that shit off the internet. Like, where the fuck did that shit come from? Where did it come from? When I got my first crystal, I have a crystal wand point. And I really love quartz. I love quartz more than any of them because it's just so pure. I love the clear quality of it. And I have some other crystals as well, but I'm like, none of this shit means what they say it means, nor does it really mean anything. It means whatever. Well, you can use this, this herb for this and this herb for that. It means this or that. Like, no, the fuck it doesn't. It means whatever the fuck you want it to mean. Like, I just want to get that type of shit out of my head. And parts of my ego feel like it's exploding because it's like, if I don't have these things to reference, I don't know what to reference things to. And I fully understand why people don't change. I understand why people don't question what they believe or how they move in life, because you have no reference point anymore. And we humans seek safety in our physical and in our mind. And when you don't have a reference point, there's no safety. And I am bumbling through that horribly. It's really painful to not have the safety nets I used to have in my beliefs and how I move in life. And there's no one to talk about that with because everybody is moving in these circles of belief and thought that have been given to them like an offering for them to sip and take. And I am now rejecting that offering, and I feel the consequences of that inside. And I feel like I'm going through the fire of that, like really having to be out in space with nothing to hold on to, except for the few things I refuse to give up, like junk. When I had some amazing fish. Oh, shout out to my aunt. She made that fish was so fucking good. I wanted to take some home, but I didn't want to be a big bag, which I could have, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna. That'd be bad for me. Yeah, it'd be bad for me. Anyway, this has gone on 24 minutes. I have so much more to say on this, but my thoughts aren't organized. My hormones are high, and it's making me more vulnerable to breakdowns or like autistic breakdowns or shutdowns, where my mind is just like chattering. I could just hear it. I don't even know what the fuck it's talking about. It's doing this chatter thing. And it does that, but it's very loud and random. And I can feel my body just like vibrating and my face twitching and my eyes like darting back and forth because it's just a lot. It's a lot of energy and a lot of hormones and a lot of everything. It's just a lot going on. And so, like I said, I made a few videos before this one, but I didn't post them because I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? I'll probably post this one though. But anyway, I'll be back with some other random shit. But anyway, yeah, this is some damn good. If you live in Texas, this is some damn good ranch. Jesus, this is better than Hidden Valley, Kraft, whatever you can come up with. It's fucking delicious. If you can afford the cold one where you have to put it in the refrigerator, if you can afford that, tops. Anyway, one last look at my nails because they're pretty. This is actually like, I don't know why it's coming up this bright. Maybe because it's next to the pink. But it's actually a very soft periwinkle blue. And the rest are neon. This is a soft lavender and neon yellow. And they're so pretty. Oh,